Right then, Darren, what are you expecting from Ipswich this weekend?
Tough game. Good team. Very energetic team. They get it forward quick. Real handful, whatever pairing they play up front. They've got a good choice there. And we're strong at home, so we expect a tough game as anyone would expect against Ipswich.
Yeah, they've won their past two at home. In terms of their squads as a whole, they've got plenty of options, so I guess it's difficult to second guess in that way.
Yeah, I mean they've changed formation a while ago. They're playing with three at the back, so we'll have to work on that. But yeah, listen, when you look at the fixture list at the start of the season, you know Ipswich are going to get two tough games. We played them very early in the season, and obviously nearly won. They equalised very late on. But no, they're right up there with ourselves, as I expected they would be. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a very good game. We're taking a good support. There'll be excellent atmosphere. It's a really good football stadium. So it's one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think around the 2,000 mark making the trip, and of course that always makes a difference.
I think it does. It's important that we give them a performance and hopefully a result to cheer about. And no, we're on a good run. We've got that momentum back, we feel. There's lots of good things I've seen from the last, certainly 3 games anyway. And it was something that we needed to do. We had to get that momentum back. So we're going to it with a lot of confidence, but I'm sure they will have as well, because obviously they're right up there.
Yeah, and you were talking about the togetherness and getting the fans back on board with the past couple of games. Obviously Rotherham, you really like the atmosphere for that one, and 200 posh fans making the trip on Tuesday night, which was a great effort.
It was a great effort. You know, it took us a while to get up. The A1 was closed and there was a problem with the M62, and to get that many fans on a Tuesday night, given the weather conditions, it was a hell of an effort. So we all appreciated that. I think they know that. We all went over to them at the end. It was talked about in the dressing room. The atmosphere in the Rotherham game at home is the best that we've had this season, without a doubt. So yeah, it's important that we got that back, and now we've got to build on it if we can.
Yeah, and with the recent games, one thing that's been noticeable and has made a difference clearly is getting the early goals and taking control early on with each of the 3 wins. It's been fairly quick off the mark.
Yeah, we've started games well. We've started games a lot better, and I think that's an important thing. I think Saturday will be dealing with the opening period of the game will be important, because their record in the first 15 minutes is good of games. So we'll have to deal with that, but we'll hopefully be ready for that. And I feel the first goal on Saturday will be a big one. It'll be an important one. But no, we got into it, and we're making sure that if we can, we're solid at the start of the game. We don't give anything away. We try and get on the front foot. But I've been delighted with the players in terms of how they've gone about with things. And Tuesday night was a big win for us, because the lads were certainly a little bit leggy from the Rotherham game, and it was just a case of the mentality had to be correct. And go there and get the job done and win. And in the end, you know, looking back at the game, it was quite a comfortable victory.
Yeah, and of course you'll be hugely heartened to have picked up the 9 points, but presumably moving forward, it's the nature of the performance levels and the shape and look of the side, how it's taken that step forward, that must be really pleasing.
I think the performance levels have been good. You know, the shape of the team looks good, but I think the most important thing I look at is more of the performance levels, regardless of what shape. The players coming in, and when I say coming in, I mean, you know, 6. It is 6 from what we had certainly over the Christmas period in December. Dembele, Knight, Thompson, and the 3 new signings, I think, have given us more energy, have given us higher stats in terms of the intensity in the running, and that is very, very important to the way we want to play.
Did you get through Tuesday night unscathed in terms of?
Yes, no problems at all. Everyone's fine. The lads are they look strong physically. We look fit. Obviously, there was 1 or 2 well, there was a few leggy, only because they haven't had enough game time. The obvious ones. But no, we looked, as the longer the game went on, our pressing in the second half was very good. We're looking very strong at the moment.
How's Fraser Blake Tracy getting on? Because I think you were hoping he was close, but it's clearly taking a little longer.
He'll be in the squad for Saturday, and he's looking good. He looks fine. He's trained today. So, you know, touch wood, we've got everyone fit.
Yeah, with Idris Kanu, you were hoping for news about whether he could wear a mask and get back to doing a bit more. Where's he at?
He doesn't need a mask. He's fine. That's good. He had an appointment with a consultant last Monday. It went as well as it possibly could. He's running. He's doing fitness sessions with Craig. His vision's very good. He'll have another appointment with the consultant, I think, next week. But we fully expect him to be fit. I reckon he could be fit for the Oxford game. So he's good back a lot earlier than what we anticipated. So that's great news. And given the formation we're playing, he can play as a wing back, he can play as a 10. So he gives us good flexibility in that.
Yeah, because that was particularly frustrating for him in that arguably he was hitting his best run of form probably since he'd been at the club.
He was. He's a player I rate highly. He's a player I like a lot in terms of one of his ability. Again, his running power is so strong physically, and his attitude's great, and he can play in different positions. So, yeah, I think it's important that we're coming into February now, and if we can keep everyone fit and keep that togetherness, which is very vital, that's going to be key. It always is if you want to be successful. So that is something we really want to build on.
What's the situation with Conor O'Malley? Is he still injured?
Conor is not far away. He's, I reckon, another week away. Yeah, so he's not too far.
I know we're getting into the final moments really of the transfer window, but is goalkeeper an area you could still look at?
I don't think so, because we've got 3 as it is, and obviously when Aaron went out to Tranmere, they wanted him just for loan, and when their keeper got fit, he came back. We had to bring him back anyway because of Conor's situation. So no, I don't think it's a situation we'd be looking at. Conor and Aaron are aware of the situation. If something happened with them, then that's when we would probably look to bring someone in, because we couldn't go with one keeper. But I have to say, Christie's, he's had a lot of clean sheets. I think we're right up there at the top of the division in terms of clean sheets, and he's playing well at the moment, the boy. But there's no way I'd bring another goalie in to make it 4. But obviously Aaron and Conor's situation is we're well aware of that.
And when we last spoke about Marcus Maddison in any depth, you said you really weren't too sure which way it was likely to go. With a day to go, have you got any clearer feeling?
No idea at all. I've left it to the powers that be. If something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I've no idea. I'm just cracking on with what I've got to do. The last thing I had was last week, and really I've left it to Barry and the chairman. But we'll wait and see, and there'll be the mad scramble as there always is about to 11 o'clock tomorrow night with clubs. But in fact, in terms of what we've done business wise, I've been delighted with what we've brought in.
Now, you've been very clear on your position with Marcus, so I sense I know the answer to this question anyway, but would there be any potential way back for him? Would you consider using him at all if he's still here beyond Friday night?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. It's a tricky question for a manager to answer, because all of a sudden if you get a catalogue of injuries, then... But no, I think I've stated this all along. When I made the decision, or when we made the decision as a football club, we had to move on from it, and everyone feels the same. We think it's the right time for Marcus to move on. What we can't do is force him to move on. What we've done as a club is found a club that we're willing to pay the valuation, and we can't do any more than that. Then it's up to the boy to sort out his personal terms and all the rest of it. So it's that's the situation as it is. I feel that the players we've brought in, in particular Sammy as a 10, it really was because I didn't want to be using Marcus anymore. So that's why I've done it. And I've also got Boyd that can play there. I've got young Serhat can play there. So no, I don't see anything happening with that.
And I guess ultimately best case scenario for you is a nice quiet Friday evening.
It will be. I won't expect anything happening. It will be very quiet. So I'm very, very happy with the squad I've got. And we just have to continue hopefully getting the right results and making sure we're right in the mix. And by the time we've got 15 games left, so we've got a third of the season left mainly, basically, and we're right in there. So we've got to continue that. Obviously Saturday's game and the following Saturday are massive games, and if we were to come through them with a couple of wins, then it would stand us in good stead. But we're fully aware it's tough. But I think what we've taken out the last 3 games in particular is if we set certain standards in games, it gives us the best possible chance of winning those. And that's not just about tactics or how we can hurt teams, etc. It's based upon a real good work ethic and a real togetherness, and we've certainly found that in abundance.